Hello and welcome to my channel, Rainier Books, and my name is Rainer. And no, I'm not Irish, but a dual citizen of Sweden and Germany, and I live just outside the amazing and beautiful city of Stockholm, Sweden, which is bathed in sunlight today. A few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, the Dublin Literary Award announced its Longlist. And man, this is a long list with 71 titles. So grab a coffee, a sandwich, and sit down for this 4-hour video. No, don't be afraid. As usual, I have picked favorites from this list. I make it a little bit shorter than 4 hours, a lot shorter actually. Books that I have not read yet and that were not nominated for other awards like the Booker Prize or the National Book Award. I cannot mention all of the 71 books, that's clear. You would click on another video and another amazing video, one of my beautiful fellow booktubers here very quickly. I will very shortly mention books that I have read and titles that have been nominated for other awards and you likely have heard about already or even read. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, which very quickly will become your favorite one on BookTube. That's okay, just don't worry. Books on the Dublin list that I have read. Well, number 1 is James by Percival Everett, the Huck Finn story told out of the slave Jim's perspective, with Jim being the actual protagonist of the story. World-class literature by Mr. Everett, and a favorite, I think, in every competition that this book enters. Hard to beat, probably. Well, we'll see. Number 2, The Most Secret Memory of Man by Mohamed Mbougar Sarr, translated from the French by Lara Vergniaud. I read the German translation of this book. A powerful tribute to literature with passages of enormous beauty, but not easy to digest. Vladivostok Circus by Elisa Chouard du Sapin, translated from the French by Anissa Abbas Higgins. The third novel of this young author from France/Switzerland plays in the Russian Far East, with a bunch of circus artists at center who perform the Russian bar and a woman from Europe who designs their costumes. Dreamy prose and exotic places, just like always with Chouard du Sapin. I liked it. Now to a list of books that I have not read, but that have been nominated and widely discussed already here on BookTube, so I just mention the titles. On the long list of the Dublin Literary Awards, we find Blackouts by Justin Torres, the winner of the National Book Award for Fiction in the USA 2023. We find Fire Exit by Morgan Talty from the US, Hangman by Maya Binyam, United States, Hatshot by Rita Bullwinkle, United States, Long Island by Colm Toibin, Ireland, Modder by Kavi Akbar, USA, My Heavenly Favorite by Lucas Reineveld, the Netherlands, Northwoods by Daniel Mason, USA, Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, the winner of the Booker Prize in 2023 from the Republic of Ireland, River East, River West by Aubrey Lescure, I don't know from which country that book is from, Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood, Australia, Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, Scotland/Canada, winner of the Scotiabank Giller Prize in Canada in 2024. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride is on that long list, as well as Wild Houses by Colin Barrett, Caledonian Road by Andrew O'Hagan, and Beyond the Door of No Return by David Diop. So then, there were only 51 books left where I could find some new stuff for me and also maybe for you, hopefully. Are you still there? Here we go. Number 1 of my top 10 list is At the Grand Glacier Hotel by Lawrence Fernley. We seldom have New Zealand authors on our radar. Fernley's novel is about Libby, who is separated from her family after a storm. She's in the Grand Glacier Hotel on the southern island, cannot connect to her loved ones for several reasons. The weather is really bad, and she starts exploring the hotel and its surroundings to find back to the woman that she once was. She's also in a family crisis. I thought of The Shining when I read this, although this is not a horror movie, this is not a horror book, but a deserted hotel at the end of the world, and that reminded me of Stephen King's famous novel. Behind You by Catherine Hernandez. Here the motivation of the nominating library. Catherine Hernandez subverts the usual crime narrative in Behind You. In the book we see two sides of Alma, a young girl coming of age in a community haunted by a serial rapist and also a film editor who is happily married with a teenage son. While working on a true crime documentary, Alma starts to recall long-suppressed memories from the time of the Scarborough stalker. Rather than focusing on the crimes, Catherine Hernandez uses them to explore identity, consent and violence, and how we can all be complicit. The next book I have in the German translation, now it's also available in English and it's nominated for the Dublin Award, Eliette, A Normal Life by Dulce Maria Cardoso, translated from the Portuguese by Angel Guria Quintana. I have this book, as I said, in the German translation, and this nomination lets it rise on my TBR now. Eliette is stuck in both a dead-end job and a dead-end marriage. She has never had many grand dreams or ambitions about her life, but now she's starting to wonder if life might have passed her by. So Eliette decides to join Tinder. She sets up some fake dating profiles and embarks on a number of liaisons with various men around the beautiful city of Lisbon. Will this ignite her marriage with the spark it so desperately needs? And then Eliette's grandmother is diagnosed with dementia and moves in with him. Alarmingly, her illness seems to have resurfaced some scandalous personal memories, and her unguarded outbursts threaten to reveal explosive, long-buried family secrets. Lioness by Emily Perkins, back to New Zealand. The motivation from the nominating library here. Lioness explores the relationship between privilege and inertia. It looks at class and the need to constantly accumulate. Therese, the main character, has a homeware shop in which taste becomes judgment. The novel explores philanthropy and how we use this to make up for privilege. Comfort makes change so much harder. Not a River by Selva Almada, translated from the Argentinian Spanish by Annie McDermott. I think that many of today's problems in a divided world are based upon toxic, good old masculinity, a strong man. In Not a River, the Argentinian author seems to examine just that. Three men go out fishing, returning to a favorite spot on the river despite their memories of a terrible accident there years earlier. As a long, sultry day passes, they drink and cook and talk and do what men do. They dance and they try to overcome the ghosts of their past. But they are outsiders, and this moment also puts them at odds with the inhabitants of this watery community, this watery universe, both human and otherwise. The forest presses close and violence seems inevitable, but can another tragedy be avoided? Well, we'll see when we read that book. Out of Earth by Sheila Smanioto, translated from the Portuguese by Sophie Lewis. This remarkable Brazilian novel has been garlanded with multiple accolades since its initial publication as Desespero, including the prestigious Cecil Prize for Literature, the Machado de Assis Award, the Jabuti Award, and the Republic of Consciousness Prize for Outstanding First Novel. The story follows 4 generations of female characters as they navigate the hardships of life in the parched landscape of the Brazilian Sertão. Male figures are peripheral, but are also revealed as the origin of much of the suffering in the novel, generating for the women a kind of exile not only in relation to the land, but to their sense of self. Welcome to the Hyunam Dong Bookshop by Bo Reom Wang, translated from the Korean by Shanna Tan. I have seen this book often already, and now is the time on a BookTube channel for bookish people to include a novel about books and bookshops. Doesn't that sound beautiful? I think it does. The nomination of the library which nominates the book says, this novel is with the appeal of a slice of life genre. It is of a heartwarming and invigorating story about finding acceptance and overcoming insecurities in one's life. Characters in the novel face their own personal issues, but as they interact with one another, they find solace and learn to embrace life's possibilities for positive change. The novel is about the power of books, like BookTube, community and connection. Another translated book is In Elvis's Room by Sebastian Preguel, translated from the Slovenian by Rolly Grau. Sebastian Preguel's award-winning novel In Elvis's Room tells the turbulent story of Slovenian independence from the perspective of Jan, an only child growing up in Ljubljana. Jan's life in 1980s Yugoslavia is filled with family outings, Star Wars and good friends. But as he gets older and the ties that have held together Yugoslavia begin to tatter, the contours of life change. 1 Hour of Fervor by Muriel Barbery, translated from the French by Alison Anderson. Set in Kyoto, Japan in 1970, Haru Ueno, art dealer and aesthete, has a 10-night affair with a French woman, Maud, whose cold detachment profoundly attracts and confounds him. Never telling Haru, Maud abruptly leaves Japan, and it is only after returning to France that she writes to tell him she is pregnant with their child. He is not to contact her or she will kill herself. He respects her warning, but he is shaken, of course, by her admonishment and by news of her pregnancy. Intrinsic to the perplexing plot, Muriel Barbery has created a meditative parable about life and art that elegantly and subtly weaves themes from current and ancient Japanese and Western cultures. Plot, character, development, and divine poetic syntax are a fine match for the aesthetic appreciation of Haru Ueno and his awakening to the complexities of love and also friendship. Tali Girls, a story of Afghanistan by Siamak Heravi, translated from the Farsi by Sara Khalili. Based on true stories, Tali Girls offers an intimate look at the lives, loves, horrors and dreams of 3 girls in an Afghan mountain village under Taliban rule. Their voices offer a vivid picture of the endless cycle of suffering that girls and women in the grip of the Taliban authorities face today, each and every hour, each and every minute. Kosar, Gisu, and Simin illuminate the power of love and generosity in the face of oppression and violence. Their stories are testaments of resilience, courage, and hope. In Sara Khalili's vibrant and nuanced translation, Tali Girls tears down the veil of silence and exposes the treacherous realities women must confront in war-torn Afghanistan today. The selection of 71 novels on the Longlist is an amazing kaleidoscope of world literature, and the Dublin Literary Award is the only award that I know of where translated literature competes with literature written in English, and it always acknowledges many, many international important voices, and that's so beautiful about the Dublin Literary Award. The shortlist will come by the end of March. I put a link to the whole long list in the section down below. Let me know what you think in the comments, and also please, if you have read any of the 71 books already, let me know down there. Bye, I see you in another video. Have a great day whenever this video is published.